guys, it's Erin, and we are back with another mixed media menagerie. As you know, this is a collaboration between Laura, Nicole, and myself, where every month we choose a strange collection of goodies to play with, and this is what we are doing for March. As you know, I will put everything down in the description box below so you can find everything I use down there. But before we begin, a quick announcement. Next month, the Menagerie will be sponsored by Artistro, where we will be featuring their paint pens. You have a chance to win those paint pens and next month's ephemera pack by playing along with us. All you have to do is create your page by April 4th, 2021, using this month's prompts. Post it to Instagram using this hashtag so we can enter you into the giveaway. All right, so let's peek at the ephemera that we've got to choose from this month. There's just a bunch of florals, lots of fluorescent things. There's some tags, stickers, die cuts, you name it, we got it to play with. Also some deli paper, and then we have some stencils. It's a floral stencil, so I just grabbed a couple of ones that I have and we'll figure out which one to use. And then lastly, glass bead gel, which will be so much fun to play with. So let's dive in. Now, I'm debating on which page I want to play with here. Last month we did a one page, and I kind of like leaving that burlap there because I love that girl. So I think I'm just going to create on this one-sided page. And we're going to start with that deli paper because it already has a bit of color and it's a great way to break up the page so we don't have to think too much. I'm going to squeeze on some of my matte medium and grab a cute little spatula from Nouveau and spread it all out. Now I'm going to grab some of those stickers to put on. They have like glass bead gels in them, so I thought that would be tons of fun to play with this month. And then also they were vibrant fluorescent colors, so you can never go wrong with those. I've had them in my stash forever from Hobby Lobby, so I thought let's play with some stickers. So I'm going to put those down, and then I was kind of debating what I wanted to do next, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just break off this centerpiece here, grab my scissors and just sort of go run it down the middle so that way I can pull off that excess there. It's still a little wet, so it does rip easy. It's not beautiful, but that's okay because it's going to give us some texture. So I'm just going to push it down with my finger and then grab my scissors and go ahead and just cut around the rest of the page. Now, because those stickers are raised and they do have texture, I'm going to take some more matte medium and just put it over the top to help keep them adhered to the page. And then while I'm doing this, I have that little die cut heart that I did, and I was like, I definitely want to put that on there. It'll be fun and create some texture, so I'm just adding that on with some of the matte medium as well, and then go ahead and make sure that is really dry before we move on to the next step. Because this month is fluorescent, I had to play with my Holbeins. Oh my gosh, these are fluorescent paints, acrylic paints. They are so delicious and super duper vibrant. So I'm just going to take my finger, we're going to super speed this up, and I'm just going to go around the page and add some more of these vibrant colors. We want all of the white covered, you know, and just like, this is the fun part. Get fun with it. Get that color onto the page. Now, because this set doesn't have blue or green, I'm going to use these liquid acrylics that are fluorescent green and fluorescent blue from FW, and we're just going to do the same thing with these beauties. Let's kick it up a notch with some fluorescent oil pastels. You guys, fluorescents are like one of my favorite things, so of course you know I'm going to have everything possible that is fluorescent. You do not have to have all of these things, but again, if you do decide you want to get crazy with some color, I will have all of this stuff down in the description box below where you can find them to pick them up. These are super fun, and what we're doing is we're going to create a bit of a resist here, but we're adding another layer of dimension. We're going to break up some of these color blocks here. They just kind of felt stagnant, so we're just taking color and adding it kind of willy-nilly, but you know, it gets us into that creative phase, kind of in touch with that inner child who loves to come play with us. So that's pretty much all that I'm doing here. Now we're going to bring in our floral stencil, and I do love this one so much. I believe it's a Donna Downey one, and then we're going to put that glass bead gel through it. So I have that, look at that. You can already see the bits of sparkle from the glass beads in there. They're kind of like crystally. Oh, I love it. So I'm not sure if the stencil is going to work really well for what I had intended, but we are going to play, and if anything, it's going to give us a bunch of dimension from those glass beads. So here I am, I have that Nouveau spatula again, and we're just pushing the bead gel through the stencil. And I want to leave it a little bit thick. I don't want to push it too thin because, again, I want that bit of dimension. So I'm just kind of making sure I have all of the areas well put into the grooves. And it's a really small, fine stencil, so it's a little bit harder to get kind of in those nooks and crannies. So I'm just kind of double checking. It's like kind of frosting a cake. Here we go, fingers crossed. And boop, there we go. I know you cannot see it, but again, this is a process. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I clear off my stencil, add any of that extra bit in there because the glass bead gel can run just a little expensive. So we'll clean up, let that air dry before you move on to the next step, which is adding some black gesso. So now we're going to go around where that bead gel was and kind of mute down the background. So we have like a super vibrant background. Now this is where we're going to have a little bit of fun, because where we added that oil pastel, it's going to create a bit of a resist. So it almost, remember those when you were younger and it had like, it was like scratch art? This kind of reminds me of that. So I'm just taking the black gesso and I'm going around the outside of the flower and just leaving the bits to dry, and then leave that resist is going to come through and give us a really cool, interesting background. It's dry, you can see, you really can't see the glass bead gel with the black, so I'm thinking I'm going to go over top of it. So I'm going to put that stencil back down and grab some Daniel Smith gold gesso, and I'm going to put that over top of it. Now, the glass bead gel isn't probably going to show, but I still used it, so it still counts. That's what I'm rolling with, okay? Okay, we're on the same page here. So that kind of shows up a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'm feeling it, but we're going to dry it, and then see, I got a little extra bits in here, so what I'm going to do is smudge it around and add it to where that black was, and then we're going to have a little bit of shimmer on those petals, which will be luscious when you turn the page. Now, hello, sweet babies, soft pastels that are fluorescent. We're really going to use these to make those flowers pop. If you've seen my videos, you know how much I love soft pastels, and I especially love these Diane Townsend Fluorescent Pastels, which I think you get off Dick Blick. So I will try and link that down below if anybody is interested. But I'm going to take my blue here, and then I'm going to go around it and then take a paintbrush and smudge it out. Now this is like the first layer, so it's not really showing, but I'm just getting that base layer of the pastels down, and then we're going to go around it again. This time we're going to use my finger, and as you will see, it's going to definitely pop a whole lot more. So I'm just going to keep going around here, and now we're starting to get those flowers popping. There wasn't as much blue in the flowers and on the page, so I thought using the blue, that kind of baby blue fluorescent pastel, would really make them pop. So I'm just kind of pushing it around here and using my finger, getting in all those little nooks and crannies around the flower. And if some of it goes on it, it's okay. We've got more steps to go. So I'm just bringing that around. And then as I'm doing this, I thought, ooh, maybe I'll add some purple. No, After I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do multiple colors. I just want it to stay that blue, so I go back over top of it with the blue again. But this is how we create, you make choices, and nothing is ever permanent. So if you find you don't like a color, you just kind of go back over top of it, and if it creates extra depth or whatever, we roll with it, right? So I'm taking a baby wipe here and wiping out just a little bit down by the stems. Another beautiful thing of these soft pastels, so if you do mess up, you can just wipe it off. And then I'm kind of adding a little bit more here. I kind of want to create this band of blue going from the one corner down to the other. And because I got some blue, as you can see on top of the gold, I thought, well, do I want to do gold again? No, actually, I want to bring in some white. White is going to make it pop, so we're just going to take some of the white gesso here and push it through the stencil. Okay, and for the big reveal, it worked! It made them pop a little bit more, kind of brought them to the front of the page. Thumbs up. Awesome, Erin approved. So now I have these neat like typewriter stamps, and I didn't find the word that I wanted, but I liked the matte sticker paper. So what I'm going to do is take some Squid ink or any white stamp ink and stamp around the side here of this sticker paper, and then I'm going to create my own little sentiment sticker. So I've got let go here. That just seems to be the theme of my life right now, is just, let go, let it go, let it go. You got stress, you got whatever, it's just let it go, let it go. Be like Elsa, right? So now that I have that, it's a little bit light to see, so I'm going to take the awesome Jelly Roll white pen, and I'm just going to go over top of those letters. So before I pull back the sticker backing, I want to decide what part of the paper I want to use for my background. And I think I want to do this pinkish color down at the bottom because there wasn't as much of the pink. So I just peeled off the back, set it on, and then I ran up to my sewing machine and did a fun little stitch around it. And now I have this black fabric, and I'm just going to peel back some of it to give it a little bit more of a grunge kind of frayed out look. So that I'm just kind of picking it there, and sometimes you get a little too much going on, but that'll make it pop again against that background. And grab a stapler, and I'm just going to staple both sides of that to adhere it to it. There we go. And then I just got to decide, where do I want to put my sentiment, down below, above, but I'm thinking I kind of want to do it in between the two to balance it, So it's kind of like you got both polarities on either side, so you just got to stay in the middle and let it go, right? So here we go. And I'm just using the double-sided tape and pulling it back. And I was not careful with this. If you're a bit more careful, it's probably better for you because some of those little sticky things got stuck. So I'm just kind of pulling it back here and there, but again, I'm not futzing with it. This is fun. This is art journaling. It's supposed to be, you know, just like let go and be free. So I have that. I'm pushing it down, and there we go. And I'm looking at it and going, you know what, one more thing. I want one more thing. I'm just going to add a couple little dots, kind of like some indents with a pen here into the center of the flowers, just to give them a little bit of interest. Nothing too fancy, but that is going to finish off our page. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I sure did have a good time creating it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out both Laura and Nicole's channels to see how they use this month's prompts to create their project. Thank you so much again. Mad love's going out to you, and don't forget to use that hashtag for your chance to win next month. Until next time, happy creating.